Great. Yeah, so you've seen already now a little bit on what the World Food Forum is. A little bit, yeah, again, so the World Food Forum, an independent global platform of partners created for and led by youth. But I also want to give Emma and Michelle, who worked also on the back, very much on the World Food Forum, a little bit of the ground to explain a bit more about this. So Michelle and Emma, maybe I can give you the floor as well. And also in the meanwhile, if you have questions, please raise your hand, send them in the chat. Let's keep it a little bit open. Let's keep it a little bit energetic as how we started already now. That would be really great. So the structure a little bit of today, well, I will give in a few moments the floor about the World Food Forum itself. Then we continue to what is actually the Youth Action Plan. We explained a little bit about the working groups, why are we here today? And then in a few moments, we will also continue to the breakout rooms where we continue on the working groups. And you can decide yourself based on what we discuss, what we will explain, which working group would sound most interesting to you. And you can also, of course, switch in between if you want. Let's keep it a bit flexible. And again, if you have questions, please feel free to ask. So please, Michelle or Emma, go ahead.
Yes, hi, thank you, Lisa, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody who's tuning in today. It's really great to see all of you here, especially all with a common mission to transform our agri-food system. So my name is Michelle. I'm tuning in from Brussels. I'm part of the core team of the World Food Forum, who has been there since day one, and I have really the true honor of introducing the World Food Forum to you. So as we saw in the video earlier on, the World Food Forum just had our flagship event in October over the course of 5 days, and hopefully as that few of you you guys have attended, there was no better way to introduce the World Food Forum to you than the video, and I hope that you managed to catch a glimpse of our ambitions and what we want to achieve and why we need all of you to join us. So as the video started out, in the youth committee indeed saw a big problem, and we felt the urgency for change and the need for all youths to be empowered and take action in our agri-food system. And voila, that's what we have today, the World Food Forum, an independent youth-led for youth platform initiative, a safe space for youth to all come together, connect, share, learn, and empower each other to harness the passion of youth, galvanize action, and identify solutions to the growing challenges in our agri-food system. But to make real sustainable change, everyone needs to be on board. Food is universal, a basic right, everyone needs it, and therefore everyone should have a say in it. We needed to be able to engage all backgrounds, especially those who are not usually engaged, and also to reach those who may not have the privilege to engage. The World Food Forum is organized to do just that through the different tracks. Of course, one of them is the Youth Action, which we'll get into a bit later. But we also have the Innovation Track, looking to identify new and innovative solutions on the ground from youth, from young scientists, from startups, and also from our different partners. Thanks, Lisa. We have a Film Track to use the power of storytelling to highlight the key issues, to bring in different perspectives on the different local contexts of the agri-food system challenges. We have a music track, and you heard our anthem in the beginning of the meeting and also in the video. We have a cooking track to raise awareness through cooking and food. We have the education track, which is using behavior change science, targeting the younger generations to really target systemic change. So I invite all of you to check out our website. We have a bunch of ongoing activities and events that are coming. We currently have a Discord community by the education track with moderated discussions to discuss the barriers of the agri-food system transformation. We have an upcoming energy lab for sustainable energy, a teacher's lab for school education, and we'll soon also be launching a video game using real-time data to help us better understand the complexities of the implementation of food and agricultural policy. We have a virtual art exhibition on our webpage that will end next month. So do check it out. There's so much more activities actually, and also so much that you all have to catch up on. Throughout the 2021, we were all very busy. On our YouTube channel, you can watch the winning films from a FoodX Film Festival. You can learn more about foodicons, a new visual language of food to break the language barrier. We have over, I think, 20 masterclasses on our YouTube where partners have shared youth-led solutions working on the ground on a range of topics and all the side events that happened. So follow our social media to keep updated. I will share a link to all the resources very soon. But today you are here for the Youth Action, which is the policy arm of the World Food Forum, working on the policy level for our agri-food systems to challenge and support policymakers to make a better food future for all. As we heard, youth needs a seat at the table to have a say in shaping the food and agriculture policies. As youths, we will be the inheritors of our agri-food system and the challenges, and therefore we also need to make sure that the agri-food system is something that we want to inherit, and we better start shaping it now. But I wondered as a youth, like, where is the seat and where is the table? And well, here it is. The track launched its Youth Action Assembly in October, which is a dedicated, apolitical, sustained, self-organizing and institutional space for youth in the agri-food systems advocacy and action founded on inclusivity, diversity, and respect of all person. What was made clear in 2021 is that youths needed to be heard. And what we also saw that leaders are ready to listen. So let's use the momentum created by the UN Food Systems Summit and let's all act together now. And with that, I pass it back to Lisanne and the team to tell us exactly how we're going to do that with the Youth Action Assembly. I'll be in the chat box for any questions that you may have, and also Emma and also the other World Food Forum people. So do not hesitate if you have any questions. Thanks, Lisanne. Back to you.
Michelle, I could not have said it better. I think you highlighted very perfectly how many great events the World Food Forum has, and also what, initiatives, innovative things that will still happen. So if you're also interested in other things that Michelle just mentioned, a video game, for instance, also feel free to use the chat. We're here for all your questions. So yeah, then we'll continue with the part that we're also here for. So the part on the Youth Action Assembly, Youth Action Track. Well, Michelle already introduced it a bit, like the Youth Action Track is mainly for the political arm of the World Food Forum, and is for a self-organized institutional space where youth, no matter their organizational, their constituency background, can come together to discuss about political items, also to learn, to find actionable solutions, and to think together about how we can really shape that agri-food system towards better. Maybe one of you, or maybe some of you already heard about the documents that were already written. Maybe you've also read them, maybe you've seen them, and I will quickly also go over them, also the different parts of the Youth Action Track, to explain a bit about them, to give you a little bit of an overview of what we mean with it. So here you can see the different parts. So you have the Youth Action Compendium part, you have the Youth Mechanism part, and the Action Plan part. But yeah, this is all quite a lot, so we go after them one by one. And I'm wondering if already my colleagues Pramisha or Jenna are here. Otherwise, I will continue.
Yeah, they're here.
Great.
I see Jenna and I see Pramisha.
Can I give the floor then to you, Gretna or Pramisha, to explain a bit about the youth mechanism? Otherwise, I will. Yeah.
Jenna, do you want to? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, great.
Jenna, do you want to start? I can follow up after you. That's fine.
Very gladly. Yeah. So we've really I'd like to thank you for your participation today, because of course this youth mechanism, we wrote it with you all in mind, right? We want to really coordinate and facilitate youth engagement. And of course at the flagship event, we really looked to start to foster some partnerships, and then we will continue to grow these together, really for this network of action for youth that are already really active. But we want to connect and form our skills and reinforce these skills for political engagement. And that's what the youth mechanism is about. So if I could ask for the next slide, please.
Oh, I will wait.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So if there's not another slide about the youth action mechanism. Oh, okay, yes, fantastic. There is. It's about the focal points group and the co-chairs of the focal points. So this is what I wanted to dive into a little bit, but we'll also talk about it in the breakout room for the government and about the focal points group. So we really envision seats designed for youth representatives in this focal points group so that the group can be coordinated and really include youth constituencies and counterparts on food and agricultural topics within the United Nations systems, and also being sure to include person-centric groups and minority groups in this focal points group. So what we'd like to talk about today in our breakout room is an open call application and nomination process for the focal points group, so we can get this inaugural group going and make sure that you all feel that this is a fair process, that you can participate, engage, so that we foresee any barriers to that together. And then of course, the focal points group should have 2 co-chairs to help coordinate the work and lead the group. And we will also discuss that in our meeting today as well. So we look forward, if you choose the breakout room on governance, this is what it will be about. And we look forward to discussing that with you. Ugratna, would you like to add anything, or did I cover the points and we'll talk about it more in the breakout?
Yeah, very well, Jenna. I think I can just echo those points, and would like to also, begin by congratulating the team from the RBAs, the whole World Food Forum from the UN side, and then also from the youth side, that have been really actively leading the work and making this community truly fit for purpose, but then also what its name says, right? Powered by global youth, and hopefully very soon powered with global youth as well. So that is really the essence of the work that we have been doing in the governance component of the World Food Forum, and how do we have a self-organized youth space, right? When you hear about World Food Forum, sure, it's great, wonderful, but where is the space for young people to engage in terms of decision making, but then also having a stake in the system as a whole? And that is what we want to co-design with you. We have some ideas, of course, which have been shared extensively, and even through a governance feedback form that was shared at the Action Assembly in the beginning of October. So we look forward to concretizing next steps with all of you, and then also involving those that want to perhaps engage in the work of the governance side in co-designing this together. And we'll be delighted to have you. And of course, there are some other ideas, such as assembly, such as some other things which would be all concretized in due time. But the idea would be to concretize a system which can take young people sort of as equal, partners in this effort moving forward. And again, thank you for the great leadership, and to everyone that's joining on Monday. I fully understand how difficult it can be, so we very much recognize and respect that. Thank you.
Thank you both, Jenna and Ugratna. Yeah, and I think you mentioned the points perfectly. And again, I want to stress that we will now explain a little bit about the 2 breakout rooms that will be what will come in a short minutes, and we leave it open to you all. Then I will take it over for more on the compendium and the action plan. And I will also go to my small slides. It's just a brief overview of it, so that you get a little bit of an idea. But as was already said, later I will explain a bit more about it when in this working group. So on the Youth Action Compendium and the Youth Action Plan, actually what Michelle also said and what Jenna and Ugratna also mentioned, what we are trying to do with the Youth Action Track is to have a political arm for the World Food Forum. But how do we select priorities? How do we select actionable solutions? How do we engage in political issues? So that's a little bit the goal of the Youth Action Compendium. We don't want to select one voice. We want to have a collective voice for youth, and also a space where youth can come together and discuss issues around the food system, but also can come up with solutions. So that is why we want to create we created a Youth Action Compendium, which is actually mainly a summary of youth calls to action to members and partners around agri-food system topics. And we map them according to the 4 pillars of the FAO strategic framework. So we provide priority actions that youth can engage in, and youth have engaged in already, but also they're asked to member states. And we lay with that the foundation for actionable solution, because it's also very important that once you have those priority actions, that you can also lay them down to more what you can do with them. So you don't want only words on paper, you also want to see action, right? So that's also one important aspect of this action compendium. And also important in this is that you can also take these actions to your own local level. So previously I also had a talk with, for instance, with Anna, who's also here, that it's really also crucial to look at actionable solutions on the ground, on your local context-specific level. So that's also what the Youth Action Compendium want to work on. And for instance, national chapters of the World Food Forum can help in this. So that's a bit on this part. And then I would like to connect it also with the action plan. So once you have those priority actions, once you have those ideas where you want to work on as a group, where you want to have a united voice on as the Youth Action Track, based on manifesto statements that have been written by other constituencies, by other groups, and you identify those priorities, then you want to do something with them. And you can do something, of course, with them on an actual or with actions on the ground, but you can also do something with them in policy engagement. So the goal of the action plan, for instance, first of all, is the vision of the World Food Forum, but it's also mainly to organize, for instance, policy dialogues and workshops to empower young people. As the World Food Forum, the Youth Action Track, we now have, we got a sort of a permission or an invite for the FAO Council, for instance. So we have some, there are some things going on where we can truly have a seat at the table, and that table is really relevant, as Michelle in the beginning also beautifully mentioned. Like, where is the seat? Where is the table? Well, I think as the Youth Action Track, with our priorities, with our actions, with some guidance also in how to engage in policy dialogues, within policy discussions, I think we as young people can be empowered to have a true seat at that table, and also bring really important, crucial aspects on the table. And in this working on in the breakout group that we will work on a little bit, like what kind of dialogues or workshops should we work on, and how to come to those priority actions? How do we select them? What's like the process to come to them? So that's a bit on this part. And then I would actually like to give the floor to Parmisha to maybe wrap this part off and bring everyone in the breakout rooms, if that's okay.
Yeah, thank you, Lizanne, and thank you, Jenna, Ugratna, and Lizanne for the overall explanation. So maybe can you give me the permission of co-host or host so that I can make the breakout rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kazuki, please go ahead.
Just before we are jumping into the breakout rooms, I wonder if perhaps Lizanne or if you could give us perhaps once more, because we have been diving into each of the different working groups, but perhaps giving a bit of an overview how the different areas of work are actually linking together. You were showing this overall picture very briefly at the beginning, but it was very, very quick. So perhaps some more words to show how the overall architecture here is actually, and logic is actually put together so that everyone is really clearly on board.
I can show it again, or I will show the picture where you can all see the interaction between them. And also, again, if there are questions, please feel free to raise your hands or ask them in the chat. And I'm sure that someone can explain or answer them. So here you can see really the interaction on how these three work together. Oh, my computer is a little bit freaking out. Okay, great. Sometimes computers do that, but that's okay. So here you can see a little bit of interaction. So as Jenna and Gratna discussed, you have the youth mechanism where you have those focal points that really coordinate and facilitate the youth engagement. So, but these need to have some basis, some foundation to work on, to really have something to say, to know where the priorities are that they can discuss. So on that foundation, that basis can be found both in the Youth Action Compendium and more on the actual side, so more on the action plan, where we really learn how to engage in policy, how to engage in an event. For instance, maybe some of you went to COP and were like, how do I even go about here? Where do I go? So that's also something we can, for instance, work on. So it's really a foundation for the mechanism to gather these solutions, the priorities for the future of the World Food Forum and our food system. But maybe Jenna, Gratna, Pramisha, you have something to add here.
No, thank you so much. We'll do a little bit more explanation in the breakout room for the folks who are really interested in focusing on that aspect.
Yeah, and also maybe it's good to mention it already here. Michelle in the beginning mentioned Discord. So we also want to pilot with this group also for that, so that we can also have these working groups that we discuss here now in that way, also in a more organized structure in that sense. So we will also explain that a little bit later. Are there questions now? Yes, you certainly can get the slides emailed. Some of them are also already on the World Food Forum website, but these slides are certainly able to be shared. And then I will make the breakout rooms. If there are no further questions, I can't see while sharing, so that's a bit hard. That's why I ask. Is everything clear for you all? Great. I see a thumbs up, so that's good. I will make breakout rooms. And you can decide, so before you go into the breakout rooms, you can decide yourself which breakout room you want. So you have the one on the youth mechanism and the one on the youth action plan, or the youth compendium. Oh, yeah.
Hassan, can you maybe just flag them on the screen again, the different breakout rooms?
Yeah, or we can put them in the chat. Would that also be okay for you?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, great. Can someone type in the chat? I see that there are.
And also, I just wanted to check how possible is it to just have a high-level introduction of the participants so that we are at least a bit aware of who is on board, or should that just happen on the chat group on the side?
At least in the breakout rooms, we can go a little bit more in who's there. But then we have some smaller groups, so that will be great. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, Lisanne.
Yeah, I have created 2 breakout rooms, one on governance and another on action compendium. You can choose the breakout rooms on which you would like to join. So I have opened both rooms. So please join the room that you would like to join.
And governance is about the youth mechanism, right? So
yes, yeah. Certainly.
If people are not joining, then I can also assign them to the working group, but it is better if you can join yourself.
And I will join the Action Compendium group then also.
Yeah, if you didn't get a pop-up window, then you can go down to the bottom bar and right next to reactions, or between reactions and live transcript, there's breakout rooms, and you can click on breakout rooms and then you'll see drop down for governance, and you can see who's already in there. You can see Action Compendium, and on the right-hand side, you see a button for join.
See you in a few minutes. I think in the breakout rooms, it's also good to mention, I think we are a little bit later, but we can keep, I think, 40 to 50 minutes. That's great.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Really great to see you all. Really nice to see you also here, Anna. And Amira also.
Yeah, hi, Lisanne. Surprised being here. Love.
And I think it's really nice to have a little bit of a, because now we have a little bit less people, so that we can do a really quick round of introduction to everyone. But I will wait a little bit more for everyone to join, because there are still some people that did not assign yet. So we wait for a single moment. But were there already some things that were unclear to you, or do you? I was also wondering who of you was actually at the assembly in October. I see Anna, who was there, and Amira, you were always also there. I saw you. Emma was there, of course. Victoria. Hey, I see 2 people there. Nice. Let me see, admit to main session. Okay. Bites of transformation team. Then we truly need a introduction round, because otherwise we don't know your names.
Hi, my name is Rael, and I'm working for the Swiss mission here in Rome for the project Bites of Transformation. And I'm here with my 2 colleagues. Hi.
Oh, wait, there's one other next to you. Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, this is also me right here. Ciao, I'm Valentina. Nice to meet you.
Great. Yeah, maybe we can already start with a small introduction, and then people that still come in then can just come in. So if you want to take the floor, then please continue. Then we already have you 3 who give some introduction. So please, Bites of Transformation team, if you give your maybe your name, your where you are stated, where your residence is, and maybe your area of expertise or organization, just what you want to mention.
Hi everyone, I'm Luisa Ingrid. I'm the management board of Equipa Europa. It's a pretty big association in Spain. And I'm also right now training at the European Food Safety Authority. I was actually last year also kind of involved in the World Food Forum, but then I was with a lot of work and I couldn't keep on, but here I am again.
Great to have you now here then. I also want to make a suggestion. Once you have talked, maybe we can give him over to someone else so that we can keep
Okay, Ana Cristina.
Thank you, Luisa. And I hope you can hear me well. My name is Ana Cristina. I'm from Mexico City.
And I'm involved in many projects that derive from the World Food Forum. I'm part of the food icons of Act for Food, Act for Change, and I'm also a Thought for Food ambassador. So I'm really glad to see everyone here. I'll pass the word on to Amira, please. Thanks.
Thanks, Anna. Hi, I'm Amira Ali from Egypt. I'm 27 years old. I studied chemistry and botany, so I already interested in food systems. I started to volunteer in charity. I worked since 10 years ago, but my specialized area was or is children teaching, because I'm children teacher beside what I'm doing. And I'm also a writer and researcher. And I have a personal experience with food. I got a little sick, so it leads me since 4 years ago to food systems and healthy diets. So when WFF started, I find it promising to the whole world. So I hope we all could do something great together. And I'm giving the floor to, I know that we know about her before, but I want her to talk more to us. Pramisha, please.
Thank you so much, Amira. Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. My name is Pramisha Thapalia, and I'm from Nepal. I'm SDG2 focal point of major group for children and youth, and also working with Lijan, Emma, and others in Youth Action Assembly of World Food Forum. So very happy to be here. Now I pass the floor to the wonderful team of Bites of Transformation.
Yeah, hello everyone. So we quickly introduced ourselves before. It's the three of us. We're working for Bites of Transformation and the project. I don't know if some of you already know the project, but we developed a common vision in a form of a manifesto. And we were also super happy that the manifesto was cited and quoted by you during the World Food Forum, that some elements were taken from this. And it was about a group of about 60 people. Nowadays, we are almost 100 from different countries. So we're growing, and we're really interested to have more motivated people on board, people who want to change something, implement projects. And we're also a network to support each other. And from spoken words to practical examples and projects, this is a bit our mission. And maybe one last thing, we are organizing a big event in May here in Rome in next year, where we want to showcase that change is possible and innovative projects can be implemented, and all driven by young people. So this is a bit our project that we're working on at the moment.
And so who do you want to pass the floor to?
So who else is?
There are enough.
Okay. Two.
Oh, I see your Gratna waving, so maybe she wants to take the floor here.
Yes, so let's do it like this. I hand it over.
She's gone now. Then I will give it to Victoria Filenzi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Victoria. I don't know where to start. I'm currently working at FAO and the Dryland Forestry team. I got involved with the World Food Forum back in, I think, December, when I was finishing, well, towards the end of my internship with EFAD. And I, at first, was involved in a lot of the tracks, but obviously I couldn't keep up with all that. So I was kind of part of the Youth Action Track towards the beginning, but like I said, I couldn't keep up. And now I work really closely with Ed, who I see is also here, in the innovation track. And we work on leading the master classes together for the World Food Forum. So yeah, it's great to be back. I think that's it. And I will pass the floor, I guess, to Ed then.
Great. Thanks, Victoria. Can you guys hear me? Hi, everyone. Sorry, I've been jumping in and out because my power seemed to go out here, but it's back on. My name is Ed Bogart, and yeah, I work at FAO in my day-to-day job, but have been working with the World Food Forum since, at this point, as long as I can remember. It feels like more than a year ago. I think we started, putting things together. Have been, as Victoria said, co-leading on the innovation track, and we've done master classes, as she's mentioned, also a startup awards and a research challenge, and have also been working on marketing. So trying to stay involved in as many places as I can, but good to see many familiar and new faces here as well. And I missed the beginning, so I don't know who has or hasn't gone, but who would like to go next?
Shall I give it to Belinda NG? I don't know the background, but
yeah, sure. Thanks, Lizanne. Hi, everyone. It's really nice to meet you all. Sorry I can't turn on the camera at the moment, but just a little bit of an introduction. I came to know about World Food Forum through Prometia, who I've been working on with the UN Food Systems Summit. And I am originally from Hong Kong, but I'm now based in the UK, and I've been here for a couple of years, currently doing my master's in environmental technology, specializing in resource management. So very keen on agriculture and all kinds of topics. And right now, I'm also part of the Act for Food, Act for Change campaign, and particularly interested in young people and innovation in terms of more on the consumption side. So I've been working on a few tech-related projects in the past few years. Yeah, looking forward to working with you all. I'll pass to Layla.
Hi, Leila. If you're speaking, you are muted.
I'm more than happy to go next. Okay. Okay, so hello, my name is Lucan. I'm from the UK. I'm currently a UN youth delegate at the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. And it's quite funny because the anthem of World Food Forum, AYU, I am working very closely with him to do some projects here in the UK as well. So I was glad to see him doing some great work here as well. But yes, I'm here on this call because I'm very passionate about collaboration. And I'm very also committed to strengthening UN bodies and international institutions relationships so we can all collaborate and bring together projects that are strong and have a true impact on young people's lives. So I look forward to getting actively involved with this discussion, and hopefully we can implement some projects and tasks and way forward after this. Thank you. Oh, and if I was to pass to someone, maybe Emma Vastano.
Hi, thank you, Lucani. So my name is Emma. I'm working in FAO and Youth Action co-leader for the World Food Forum.
Sergio Covilla.
So all of you. And then maybe, yes, Sergio, if you want to go next.
Okay, thank you, Emma. Hi, my name is Sergio. I'm from Peru, and I'm studying electronic engineering. I'm very interested in food security, precision agriculture, food, energy, water nexus, because right now I'm doing a research about it. And also, thank you for being part of this. It's very nice to meet you guys. I think I'm the youngest here, but I give the floor to maybe Bioma.
Hello, Thank you, Sergio. Hi, so I'm from India and I'm a food designer. I love working in food systems and systemic problems. I also work as a Thought for Food ambassador in India, and currently I'm working with Future Food Institute that's based in Italy. So I work remotely from India. That's about me, and I would like to pass it on to Teresa. I don't know if she's already on, sorry.
Yeah, I want to interrupt really quickly.
Yeah.
Sorry for that, but I think this will take quite some time. And that's of course perfectly okay, but I would like to, and Teresa, please keep your camera on. It's really great to see you here also. But I would like to ask for the rest to maybe put it in the chat for now, so that we continue a little bit with the introduction, because otherwise we don't have a little bit of, otherwise we might have run out of time for a real discussion. This is also of course very valuable, but just to give also some time for the discussion itself. And then we hear your voices also when you come in. Please feel free to ask anything you want. I also want, because after this breakout, we go back to the main session, and I want to ask one of you to maybe report back after this session to the main group. So is there someone who would like to volunteer for that? Raise your hands. Otherwise, it can also be two people that can fill each other in. If you don't feel comfortable to do it yourself, is there someone who would like to do that? No one?
Hold my hat in the bag. That's fine. I'm more than happy to report back alongside some. Yes.
That's great. Thank you, Lucani. Oh, Amira, to report back after this session to the main group. Maybe you can do it together. So Amira and Lucani, if that's okay. So you can report back to the main session a bit on this discussion. So what I would like to do with you today, I will first explain a little bit more on the action plan and on the action compendium themselves. And I would actually like to do that also with a Miro board, so that you can a little bit look along with me, see a bit our goals, and I will share it in the chat. So you can see it here. I hope everyone is able to enter it. If not, please feel free to share your thoughts. Also, if you have any questions, share them in the chat. I will share my screen now and explain you a little bit more. Okay. So yeah, okay, we already had a little bit of an introductory round. So I will explain a little bit about the compendium itself, and on the solutions that we can take from them, or that or the actionable solutions that we would also like to continue with. The goal of this working session is a little bit to understand about the working groups, because for some of you it is very new, so it would be very hard to dive really deep into it. Identify some workshop topics that might be interesting for the action plan, as I discussed earlier, and also next steps for the compendium. I see that some needs access to it. Yeah. I hope you can also all. Yes. I will put it again in the chat. Okay. So here, yeah, if you can answer this, you can put your questions and answer and your thoughts in this section. But I will first go to this part. So this is on the Youth Action Compendium. I see you're already now in there, so you can type all your questions, you have your thoughts, but I will explain this. So here you see a little bit on the strive to reach actually with this compendium. So as many different youth organizations have written manifests, so statements with actions, priorities, etc. But what if we crown or a foundation on which we can have a shared? So that's why we started with the idea to groups from different backgrounds along the 4 better. So that's better production, nutrition, environment, and better. We synthesized and summarized them into one document that summarizes all of these different ideas. And I can also share it in the chat, or maybe Pramisha can share it in the chat, perhaps. In this document, you see different ideas. So my first question, so this was our idea to select the main group to select priorities. Is a way to have a free to unmute yourself and share any thought you have. Think this process can be a little bit better. And then I will ask you.
Hello, I'd like to come in a little bit because I'm new to the Miro board, and when we just got in to the Miro board, we have another document. I don't know if there are like many tabs, and that's how we get to this part of the Miro board, or how does it work? Okay, you see another part, you mean? What we're seeing is the youth statements, but I don't see anything.
Oh, you can scroll down a little bit. If you scroll down, then you come to the part for this part.
All right. I think it's a matter of taking the time to look at the Miro board. And I was also thinking about the Youth Action Compendium, how I believe in one of the documents, it is also mentioned that further we will be able to create this type of compendiums, but on a national or local, regional level, right? But this is something we are going to do further, or what's like the timeline for starting to create this local, regional compendium?
Thank you for that question. It's a really good question. Also, we discussed it, of course, a little bit in the past. I think, well, just compendium a little bit as sort of the foundation, the basis. So if we have like a basis set of main priority actions for youth that are like worldwide statements, then you can use these as a foundation for more on a national and on a local level. So you can adapt. For instance, I know I've seen Louisa, who is here also, she's from Yonklia, I live there, that they also have like a youth statement on food and the food system. So for it might make sense to also make a national compendium on it. And in this sense, like national chapters can really help to know a little bit more about it. For instance, in the Netherlands, we try to set up now a national chapter on the World Food Forum, where you can come together to identify what are now the solutions here that we need to have as priorities together with different youth organizations. But that can, of course, also be taken to other parts of the world. So, for instance, if you live in Africa or you live in Mexico City, as you yourself live, you can see, okay, what is now the priorities that needs to be tackled in my situation? But you can take the compendium that we create together as a sort of a foundation for that. But maybe if you have other ideas how we better structure this, or we can better make that suitable for this process, please feel free to give your thoughts. Are there now already some general ideas on how this process we've done so far could perhaps be made more accessible even? Or do you think that it's a good way to start with a sort of or do you think we need to do it the other way around? Can I give someone the floor perhaps?
Just to jumping in and just to clarify, World Food Forum is not an organization. Amplify the works of the local organizations, national organizations, and regional organizations. So it is a platform to bring everyone together and grassroots level youths are doing. So just for the clarification.
Yes, thanks, Pramisha. Yeah, that is really true. So that's also why we don't want to select, maybe some of you also have that in mind. So we don't want to select one statement or use only one from one organization, though they're all great and they're all really suitable in one way or another, but they're from one organization. Don't select one. we try to combine them. Then I want to continue. Maybe you can all go to this part of the board. Like, we select these manifestos and statements to use them for the compendium, but best these manifestos and statements to use them for 10. So you can have them from 5 years till now. You can have them from every, when is it enough to continue with? So if you take your stickers and share your thoughts, how to select them, what do you think is the main priority in this sense? Also into action.
If you have trouble accessing Miro, please let us know.
Yeah, please feel free to set in the chat or just put it in the chat if you have thoughts on it. I see already some really nice ones. So diversity, yeah, that's crucial. It's really crucial. And I see it also representatives of this, similar to the diversity part. That's also why we started with the 4 foundations of the World Food Forum. One is inclusivity and diversity. That is why also we do this process so that we can together come up with the best way to do this. We'll zoom in a bit because I can't read it. Yeah.
Maybe also for the selection process, I'm not sure if like the manifestos might be like time bound. So for example, if there's any like years or scales or plans for like when they want to achieve certain things, then maybe that can kind of factor into like maybe a more general timeline that could go into the compendium.
Could you specify that a bit more? So you mean like a timeline on the documents themselves? So the manifestos that we use, for instance, that we only use them from 1 year from now or like 1 year ago, or?
Yeah, I guess that could be an option. I think I was referring more to like, yeah, like if these manifestos and statements have certain years listed, for example, whether they've set certain goals to achieve by, or that, I think that could play into the selection process, because you could then see like, for example, are certain ones trying to achieve things faster or over a longer period of time, or like what the strategy is. So maybe that could factor into like a consideration.
That's a good one. So more on the KPI level as well, so that we can also see where do they keep their levels, like 2025, do they want to achieve it in 2030? And that might also be very interesting to do for the compendium itself. So we as youth want to achieve this by 2030.
Yeah, the current plan is that the first year is kind of trial run, right? Like we are collecting documents, and then we are preparing actionable solutions by reading all the manifestos and documents. Until the midst of 2022, we plan to improve our draft, and then we can look out into the possible ways where our actionable solutions can be implemented. But meanwhile, while saying so, the documents will be updated every year or every time when like new stuffs come. So it is an ongoing process, the update of Action Compendium document, but the solutions will be implemented from the next year. So this is the current plan.
Yeah, and also I see now science-based targets. Maybe it's also good to mention that as part of the youth action, for instance, on the actionable solution part, we will also see how this combines with science, so that these can merge together a little bit, so that they are really scientific based. That will be another group. If you want to know also more about that, please feel free to reach out to us after this so that we can explain also a bit more about that. And the preparation of the documents, the method of preparation we now use was mainly to take the documents, tag the code, like use the different betters and the priority actions that are under them, to tag the documents and see which priority actions come out of them most. And yeah, these are then used to add in this as a summary or a synthesis is in the compendium. So that's how we did it till now. And then a working group that we will continue with, and I'm hoping that you all are very interested to join. We'll be working on that further and also to combine it with the actionable solutions part. And we're also talking a bit on that. I see now here, I will take a few. I think this is also really interesting, depending on the amount of people that back a specific manifesto. I don't know who wrote that one, but I'm interested to hear a bit more about this one, because if you would say like how many people should back one specific manifesto, what would you say? because that's also interesting.
I also see that the blue one next to it also talks about the amount of people.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah, I see.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how much. I do not have right now a specific range of the amount. But if the other one who wrote the blue post-it wants to come in, go ahead.
So who wrote this one? Or if anyone else has an idea about this? Yeah, Gabriel, please go in.
First off, hi Lisa, I'm Michelle.
Nice
everybody.
to see you.
I'm arriving super late to the party, but that's how work does. Yeah, about those two, I think it's not a question. Well, it's not only a question of numbers, but I didn't write those, but also of quality. And you want to represent, to have a statistical, let's say, meaningful number of people. So. It's not the same to have 3,000 lawyers or 1,000, but with a good mix of farmers out of the supply chain. So that's more maybe defining making sure you have all the stakeholders and that you not necessarily stick to the current state of power, because otherwise you're going to have 12 people of, I'm going to say cliche, but 12 people of Monsanto for one farmer, which is not what you want to have. So giving space to everyone. Per category would be at least would be great, but depending on the on number, perhaps that's something that makes sense in terms of statistics. That's that.
I added your note. Do not stick to the current state of power. That's really great. Yeah, if you have any more thoughts, please feel free to add them.
Yes, I was just thinking also linked to the number of people. I think it comes also to the credibility of the different documents. Like not necessarily an absolute number, but if a lot of people are backing this, or if a lot of people are sharing it or signing it, then it means the organization is not just two people who came together and wrote a manifesto. So I think that plays as well into it. So like whether it's a credible organization or at least it has a backing of a lot of people would play.
Yeah, that's a good one as well. Is it also, you can also put it here. I don't know if you already put it here. Yeah, well, if I may summarize, yeah, thanks. If I summarize also this board, it's mainly on the diversity and also on the quality and the number of, well, not necessarily on the number, but also on the quality that back a specific document and have multiple stakeholders group present. So I think that's really crucial. And I think the working group here will be really great to have you all on board for this. And to discuss to see how we can take this further and also make a great selection on how to continue with the compendium itself and keep it updated. But of course, it is good, as was already mentioned in the beginning, that's really crucial here also, because you need to go from spoken words to more than. So I'm a little bit keeping this a little bit shorter because we backed up by the action compendium itself. So the actionable solution part on how do you want to see like the actionable solution represented. So there is a way to do it for different projects in different teams. But we can also, of course, we can also do it on a worldwide level. So what initially would have your main priority in that way, to go on a national or on a worldwide level in the beginning? Maybe Bites of Transformation can explain a bit. I'm also really interested. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit on that.
Yeah, so I would say, to be very honest, it's work in progress. So it's a journey and we're learning a lot along the journey. But what we're planning to do is really involve our community, the people who contributed to this manifesto, and together elaborate how can we become more practical. And this exhibition or this festival that we're planning, I have one member who is working on a project about the refugee camp. You do is to showcase this refugee camp where people can really, the visitors of this exhibition can really experience how this project could be implemented. And this is already then kind of a pilot, which can be scaled up later on. So we're trying to start from small projects, but then using them to scale up later on.
That's a good one. And I immediately like to say, because you say it's work in progress for us as well. So in this way, I would immediately like to say, let's learn from each other. Let's keep this like a space where we can learn from each other to how to scale up actionable solutions, select those solutions, because that is what we want to achieve. It's not everyone here has maybe its own platform, its own organization, but it's here that we can learn from each other how we can scale up and maybe even collect all these different solutions. So we have an idea. I will put it in chat. It's maybe something you can also look. I didn't want to mention it in the beginning, but maybe I will share it now. We have been talking a little bit with this. It's a platform that also has the idea to like collaborate. Anna already knows it. She I don't know, you worked with it, I think, or not? No, oh, but they want to like have a portal for collecting actionable solutions. And in my opinion, and that's just me, it doesn't matter where they stand. It's mainly important that we collect them and that we have a nice way of presenting them and make them really useful for young people. So my invitation again to you all, let's think together on how we can make this work. And I will keep this also open. If you have any ideas, maybe Bites of Transformation, you can share maybe your thoughts on what you've learned so far by doing this, and put it also on the board, and also for others, if you have thoughts on what you have learned so far on how to scale up, present solutions, that would be really amazing.
Yeah, maybe what I can contribute from my side, I think it's very important to have a common vision, and then there are a lot of different ways how to get there. So to have a common vision as a starting point and to keep the discussion and to be very open-minded and for other inputs. And then along the journey, there are different people with various ideas. And as you just shared something, I didn't know about this portal. So it's about exchanging ideas and helping each other to make common progress. So I think, yeah, so be very open-minded and have a common vision. This would be my two contributions.
That's a good one. So would you then say that like starting with a compendium as a sort of a way of having a common vision would then be a good way to start?
In my opinion, it's a very good way to start because it's something, it's kind of a common ground. And then from there, you can still modify, you can still add, but it's something to have a common understanding. So yes, I think it's a good idea.
Nice. I would also like to hear some maybe we haven't heard so far. So I just picked someone out. Sergio Gorilla, I see your name on my screen. Do you have something to share here? If you're not comfortable with speaking, that's of course perfectly fine. But I'm also thinking, I'm also very interested to hear other thoughts as well. Or maybe, yes. Yeah, nice, hi.
Sorry, because in a few hours I have to make up an evaluation from university, so I'm a bit busy now. But
oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you're here. That's also good.
Yes. Sorry, I'm a bit sick also. But maybe I can share my a bit about a project that I'm making in my city. So this project is about how we can create self-sustaining resources for people who live in vulnerable areas here in Lima. And we also, the first stage is how we can training people in sustainable agriculture, urban agriculture, because due to the pandemic, these people having enough resources to feed the children and also themselves. And the second stage is how we can connect the food security with energy security, because it's also another problem that these people are dealing now. So we are working on clean cooking and also the kind of solution that we are now promoting in cities.
That's really amazing.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Sorry, this is the first time I'm participating in World Food Forum activity.
No, but that's good. I was really happy to have you here. And okay, I hope your university project also works out.
Not for university, but
this.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, this is our project.
Yeah.
Because
we're a bit at the end of this session.
Okay.
So I will keep this open. share any thoughts you have. Also, maybe time do we have left, because you were doing the
we
countdown,
have
do you have time for this as well?
6 minutes.
6
Around
minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay, so then we have some time to this last part. So we talked also about vision, and I think we also heard now that the common vision is very good also to start action on it. Engage in, if we have selected this, how do you continue? Do you engage in a COP26, which is massive, which is like exhaust, or in events, for instance? So what would help you in that sense? And I just with the sticky notes here. So here you see already some. So how to engage in policy discussions, effectively attend an events, getting funding for local initiatives for change. That's also a really good thing. That is quite hard. Learn, plan, and act. Oh, there comes an answer, I see.
Lizanne, sorry, because I missed some. May I ask something? Homework, and they come back in email or something and research any place? Hi, Lizanne.
Yeah, no problem. Again, and can send the feedback on your free time and send document or Google document, or you can also fill the form that we sent you before when asking to join the meeting. So you can do in both ways. You can email Lizanne for this.
So you would give us a feedback document or something after the meeting?
Yeah. I also sent the feedback document when sending the meeting link. But I can follow up again after the meeting.
Please, thank you. Thank you.
No problem.
I missed a little bit of part of it because my sound went out. But thanks for answering, Misha. And I see also in the chat the learn, plan, act, influence. That's a really good one. Maybe if you have, I saw Gabriel, you writing it. Maybe you have some experience with it, so we can strict you for a workshop on it. But these can be like topics that we can work on for the workshop. Know your food workshop. How to start a food initiative. That's really great. So with this working group, again, this is like a first introduction to this working group. But after this one, and we will start again in January 2022, so that everyone can just have a brief Christmas break. But then we will continue with these parts, and we will be very much happy if you would like to join us and work on these different workshop, different dialogues that we can do and work together to create a common vision for the World Food Forum. And I think I saw the timing now that we have 1 minute left, I think, for Misha. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have 1 minute left. So I request Amira and, sorry, I forgot the name, the two working group leaders right now to be ready to report back to the main plenary so that the members of the governance working group can also know the discussion that happened in this room. Thank you for volunteering on that, and thank you everyone for the engaging discussion, both by unmuting yourself and also in the Mira board. And thank you, Lizanne, for amazing moderation.
And I think it was Lucani who, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was
Lucani and Amira, right?
Right?
Yeah, Lucani and Amira, please be ready to
see you in the main session all.
See you in the main session.
Back here.
Are you in dark, Michelle, or not?
No, the sun is shifting, so it's just the shadows from the sun. Trying to get my vitamin D after a very
also really nice.
Yes. Hope it was a good discussion in the breakout rooms. I tried to add everyone in.
Lukhani, you're breaking before, so please make sure your audio is working so that it will work properly when you report back.
Okay, can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, but it did. I think there's still echo.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the main plane. Okay, Lizanne, if you want to go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry. I just saw a question in the chat. Why not create a governance WhatsApp group? We also want to create, as mentioned in the beginning, also want to create a Discord group where we can have like interaction. And since you can create like more channels in the Discord, then it's easier to have like a more structured way of communication. But we're setting that up, and we will certainly let you know all when we start using it. But we're also very much interested if you have like a little bit of a negative association with Discord. We also would like to hear it, because maybe you have other suggestions what we can use. But for now, this seems for us to be the most useful way of participating and working together, since you can also share links and share different documents, do polls in it. So yeah, just to clarify a little bit on that. Thank you, Parmisha.
Yeah, and we will communicate the medium of communication through the email chain we are using right now. Welcome back, everyone, to the main plenary session. I hope we had a great discussion in governance working group. Also, we had a great discussion in Action Compendium. Thank you, Lizanne, for leading this. So maybe we need to hear from both working groups. So first, I'd like to call leader from the governance working group to report back on what were the discussions that went into your working group and what are the ways forward. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much, Parmisha. Oh yeah, may I? Thank you. Thank you so much. We had talked about what the focal points group is a bit more and the initial selection process for the focal points group. And we workshopped a bit some potential challenges and asked questions about how that selection process should work. And we are going to follow up either at the end of this week or next week about a meeting for the selection process. And we have great volunteers here in this call who are going to be part of that selection process.
And thank you very much, Jenna, for this comprehensive explanation. Yugratna, please go ahead.
Yeah, no, I fully support what Jenna said, and maybe to add on that we also received feedback and, if I may say, support for the changes that we had suggested to the TOR of the Young Scientists group. So that was welcomed by the group. I also want to acknowledge that one of our active members has taken a lead to create a WhatsApp group for the broader governance team, and we, of course, as co-chairs, fully welcome the initiative. So if anyone wants to, please join the WFF governance broader team, please use the WhatsApp group that has been shared in the meeting chat. Please be welcome to join that. And Falguni, I would also maybe appreciate if you can make Jenna and myself and some of the team members as admins of that group. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yugratna, for this feedback also. Now we heard back from the governance working group. Now let's move to Action Compendium and Action Plan working group. Lukhani and Amira kindly volunteered to explain the discussion that happened in our working group. So Lukhani or Amira, please go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
You're a bit breaking, but please go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, yeah, so in the group we had a fruitful discussion on action.
Lukhani, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we can't hear you.
We started the brainstorm. Yes.
Lukhani, we can't hear you clearly.
Okay, is that any better?
It is not working still.
Can you hear me now?
Lukhani, we can't hear you.
Okay,
so,
sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. Maybe Amira, can you please go ahead?
I'll charge on my phone in the meantime.
Sorry, I was asking Amira, can you please go ahead and explain since we can't hear Lukhani properly?
Okay.
Thank you, Amira.
You're welcome. I'll try my best, but excuse me if I couldn't get everything exactly right. At our meeting, we tried to discuss what should be our priorities to find the major to select the major issues that we would define our priorities. We tried also to find the solutions, creative solutions, or think how we should contact or define WFF priorities to the young, and how we could engage young into the process of WFF. That's a very short brief. I'm sorry if I couldn't provide more.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amira.
I can join to my phone now. I'm on my phone.
Yeah, please go
ahead. I think Lukhani would be better than me. I'm sorry.
Right.
Next time I'll do my best. I promise. Okay.
Okay, so in our group, we had a very fruitful discussion, and we first started to brainstorm ideas that we can add to the manifesto. And we collaboratively, what you've seen on the screen now, we put together ideas on what we feel is best to get the most representatives from across the board. So everyone's views are put in the manifesto, and that no one's left behind with the work that we're going to do in this action group. And then following from that, following from the ideas we wanted to see how we can implement into action what we're doing. That the World Food Forum is partnering, implement our ideas on a national to have another meeting after to discuss the working process. And our organizer and also follow up via email to see how we can also actively continue to add ideas to this. Very close to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Lukhani. And all of these discussions were directed on how we can support local organizations and national organizations to scale up their work and remove the World Food Forum can be a platform for that. Lizanne, if you can add some brief explanation.
What was your last question? I missed a little bit of the sound.
If you can briefly explain the discussion that happened in the room.
Yeah, no, I think they both also elaborated really quite amazingly on what we discussed. So we talked about the action compendium itself. So how can we structure the process to come to the next part and how to make it inclusive. We talked about like how it is important to have a common vision for the actionable solutions, and that it's really important to learn from each other in this way how we do this, because it's really a search in progress to come to a way to like highlight and select like actionable solutions. But I think we can learn a lot from different people in the working groups that already work on this. So that's really great to hear. Also, then there were some ideas for the action plan on workshops that we can conduct. So for instance, there was someone who mentioned like that it's, for instance, how to engage in policy discussions or to learn, plan, act, and what was it? Learn, plan, act, and influence, that one. So that was also mentioned, and how to get funding, for instance, for actionable solutions as a working group. So with the working group in 2022, we will continue on this part. And a little bit inspired by the previous one, I think we can also just make a WhatsApp group to have at least also some regular discussions on this, and also to share just thoughts, visions. I see you, Gratna, smiling. Yeah, sorry, it just was a little bit inspired by this. So if anyone who would like to be involved in the working group also can send his number in the chat, I will be very glad to add you to the WhatsApp group. Or if you just want to be there to have ideas from other ones, just throw them in the chat.
Yeah, thank you, Lizanne. Maybe we can discuss later on our common communication channel, both mailing list and Discord or WhatsApp, and we will communicate you in the email that we use to communicate this meeting. So we will follow up on that. Meanwhile, it is good that you also gave a WhatsApp number so that Lizanne can arrange it in WhatsApp group. For now, if you have any comments or questions now, please go ahead before we wrap up the meeting. Please feel free to write in the chat or raise your hand. Any last minute comments or questions? Otherwise, I think it was a very great discussion within both working groups, and thank you for your commitment. I apologize for any technical inconvenience that happened. Thank you for your time for almost 2 hours. Maybe we will see each other again soon.
I see a good one by Ugrana to take a group photo. And one other thing, is maybe if you wrap, because if we close this one, then also people are not able to send in the chat anymore their WhatsApp group numbers. So my suggestion actually would be to, yeah.
I can send a quick comment in the chat so that people can write their number later also.
Exactly, that was my suggestion.
Maybe we can circulate the sign-up form for the working groups, because I think that has a place for numbers, so people can just choose which working group they want to sign up.
I also have a Excel sheet, which I now sent in the chat, where people can also put their. So this is the Excel sheet that you can put your working group name, or your name, your email, age, optional, and I will also put now one with your number. Phone number, so that you can put it in. And
Michelle, can you please take the picture for all of us?
Yes, okay, so everyone have their cameras on, and I'll take it in a few rounds. So first one, smile. Is it working? No. Okay. One. Second time, everyone has it on. Okay, and one more page. Sorry, very slow computer.
I don't think I ever smiled for so long in my life.
You're not on the last page, Mateo, so you're fine. You can start. Okay, one more, the last one. Okay, there we go. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. It was an awesome session, and all the best to the team that is coordinating.
Thank you all, and really nice to see you all here.
Yeah, it was good to be here today.
Guys, I want to thank you. Really,
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Amazing all. And thank you for your effort.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Amira.
See you.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.